Okay, Debza, you mentioned something about negotiations, or the problem starts there.
Yeah. During the negotiations, the mahadi, it can go either way. Strong bonds can be formed, or relationship can be affected going forward, depending the outcomes that those negotiations. Remember, I said, if the other party feels like the other family was not honest in the discussion, or were not truthful or forthcoming, the report goes to the two people. And the influence can either good or bad.
Yeah.
So hence some of the marriages, the problem is start during Nakwel. But going back to my issue, this things, the transaction. Sometimes a guy can be asked an exorbitant amount of money. If we have to quote figures, let's say the guy about 80,000 or 100,000. When they start experiencing challenges in their marriages, he's not going to forget like how much money did he pay.
Okay.
So in a way, we say like you are not a commodity, but huntitswe chelete hoto, it's for you.
Okay.
Now, we are not the same as people, and we don't come from the same frame of mind. Another person, akabona ile ntwa o rekile this person, and start comparing this person to a commodity as well. I'm not saying all the men are like that, but nekere because nerbuaka issue, your question in Olori, what happened this issue of men being involved, they're angry. We don't know, but nekere, let's check all the aspects that contribute to the type of men that we have in our society today. Hence I'm saying, let's start with the issues that we know, the issues the culture, the issues these transactions that are happening during the discussions. And the culture will say, like, no matter what happens, mahadi a other cultures, they say, no, it will depend, maybe the period, the marriage. But whether there were kids involved or joa. So if mahadi a then it means really there was a transaction, because if you buy something, and
it's not working out, you can simply
take it back. So other people back, no, mahadi a culture bona, then it means they acknowledge that it's a transaction if you mahadi a.
So okay, in a nutshell, the way you are saying that we need to discuss this issue of mahadi.
Yes,
we need to deal with it.
Yes, and we need to come up with a new formula.
But do you think it contributes to the issue of GBV?
It does. It does in most cases. It does in most cases. There are people who believe, because I spent money on you, you can't get rid of me because I have invested.
Okay.
That's why you find other men will say, actually, if they are not married, you have a boy and a girl banal relationship, especially in the 80s, 90s, it was like that. I'm not sure about the 2000s, whereby a relationship, if you're like, okay, so then you wonder, okay, should anything happen, will battle back. That thing.
You are saying that I know of a story of a guy who regular this lady a lot of things. Even the underwear.
You see. So I wanna it was a loan, and that person wanna operate from a different mindset.
But
to this lady.
tell me, if a women baga oboza like babuza a question yauri, no, it doesn't stop there, fela ne. It is the act of cowardice. You understand? Bontate baruna, banna baruna, or South African men are actually weak. Because how do you not deal with your emotions to an extent that you want to kill a person that cannot fight for themselves?
Remember kitse ga ge starta morao kwana re bua ka what happened post 94. The issue are like our black men, we don't know where they are.
Okay.
There's a place whereby they decided to go and shield themselves. If you look at the socio-economic conditions, if a guy is not working on it's more difficult than it was during Nakuzabon Tete Baron. If my father was not working, the struggle, it was for all of us. My mother would not say to him, like, we are struggling because he is not working. You understand? You hear the discussions that the guys, it's only rosy or nice in the home whilst I'm still bringing the bread.
I know of women, if you say that, I know of women, never give a guy chelete.
Yeah.
Never give a guy chelete. You understand? So I sometimes we put out like, where does this thing come from? Does it come from the fact that culturally we believe a man must take care of us, even irrespective of the conditions that now we are so-called equal and we earn salaries and all that, but they still have a mentality where a man must provide.
Yeah, but it's unfair, Harry check out culture, because if culture says, we know like what it says, like men supposed to provide. By nature, we are built in that way. But on top of that, there were roles telling her women are supposed to succumb to, if they are culture. I don't think, but like in this day and age, like men are supposed to provide, and how they don't subscribe to what the culture is saying. They will never do those things telling her like culturally they're supposed to follow them. They'll always point you back to what societal norms and standards are saying in this day and age. So it's a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. On the other hand, men are expected to act in a certain way when it pleases other people. On the other hand, they're supposed to act in a certain way.
Yeah.
So the way society says irrespective, like some of the men, they tend to go quiet. Others, they resort to other means of expression. By nature, we know like a lot of men, they don't talk.
And yet women talk.
Even when they have problems. Yes, yet
we
women
talk a lot.
For fear of being labeled or judged, they tend to act more than to speak. Men don't even want to talk. Their friends,
Okay.
because of peer pressure and I think ego. They keep quiet even when they are going through challenges. Now, I think it's high time that women start addressing and asking relevant questions as to what made the men today to lose their position. Because truly speaking, women are aware, or because of the socio-economic conditions, banna ba decidile ho nka a back seat. Democracy ya rona e file basadi opportunity to get this issue of equity, like let's elevate the women to a better position. But at the same time, it was leaving behind the very same men who were oppressed. Now they start having the boss, they start having the executives. There's nothing wrong with that, but how do you address the issue?
Balance.
These people who were also suffering the injustice.